The neon lights of Station Kepler 9 flickered against the observation windows as Brianna wiped the grease from her hands. Another 14-hour shift at the repair bay, another day of keeping humanity's presence alive in the outer colonies. She had chosen this life deliberately, away from Earth's crowded streets, away from the expectations that had suffocated her. Out here, among the stars, she was just another mechanic with calloused hands and a knack for understanding machines better than people. The commotion outside her shop caught her attention first. Raised voices in the Valacrian tongue, sharp and clicking, followed by the unmistakable sound of belongings being thrown onto the metal deck. Brianna set down her plasma wrench and stepped toward the bay doors, her boots echoing in the empty workspace. What she saw made her blood boil. A Valacrian female, tall and elegant despite her obvious distress, her bioluminescent skin patterns flickering pale blue with anxiety, stood surrounded by scattered belongings. Her four-armed frame trembled as she clutched a small child to her chest, no more than 3 cycles old by Brianna's estimation. The child's skin patterns pulsed in confused orange spirals. Behind them stood another Valacrian, male, dressed in ceremonial bonding robes that marked him as recently wed. His skin blazed angry red as he shouted at the female, gesturing violently toward the far end of the station where the transport docks waited like a mouth ready to swallow them whole. "You are not welcome in my family," the male spat in heavily accented standard, damaged goods, broken female with broken offspring. "You shame our bonding celebration." The crowd that had gathered, a mix of species that called the station home, watched with that particular brand of indifference that made Brianna sick. They would witness this injustice and do nothing, bound by the non-interference protocols that governed multi-species stations. But Brianna had never been good at following protocols. "Hey!" Her voice cut through the tension like a laser through steel plating. She strode forward, placing herself between the male and the trembling female. "Back off, now!" The Valacrian male's skin flashed contemptuous purple. "Human, this is not your concern. This is family matter. Move!" "Family matter?" Brianna's laugh was sharp. Funny way to treat family, throwing a woman and child into the corridor like garbage. "Real classy wedding tradition you've got there." "She deceived us," the male's translator struggled with his fury. "She came to bonding ceremony without revealing she carried offspring from previous mate. She brought shame. She must leave." The female, Brianna noticed her translator badge read Silara, said nothing, merely held her child tighter as tears streamed down her angular face, leaving phosphorescent trails. "So, let me get this straight," Brianna said, crossing her arms. "You're mad because she's a single mother? Because she had a life before you? That's your big crisis? She is damaged, not pure. My family demands. Your family can demand whatever they want, but right now you're on a human-administered section of this station." Brianna pulled out her data pad, scrolling through regulations she'd memorized years ago. Station Code 47B. No individual may be forcibly removed from living quarters without proper eviction notice and housing alternative. You've got neither. The male's skin rippled with uncertainty. "This is not Earth law." "This is my section's law," Brianna interrupted. "And I'm the ranking human official here until Security Chief Martinez gets back from patrol. So here's how this works. You're going to walk away right now, or I'm going to file a formal complaint that'll have your trader's license suspended for the next solar cycle. Your choice." For a long moment, the Valacrian male stared at her, his skin cycling through various shades of anger and calculation. Finally, he spat something in his native tongue that Brianna's translator wisely chose not to interpret, turned on his heel, and stalked away. The crowd dispersed quickly. Entertainment over. Brianna turned to Solara, who was staring at her with wide, luminescent eyes. "You okay?" Why did you help me? Solara's standard was better than her ex's, touched with an accent that reminded Brianna of wind chimes. You do not know me. Your species. I was told humans do not interfere in other cultures. Yeah, well, some things transcend culture. Brianna began gathering the scattered belongings, clothing woven from shimmer silk, a few toys that chimed when touched, a small data core that probably held precious memories. Being decent to people in trouble, for instance. I have nowhere to go. Solara's voice broke. I spent everything I had to come here for the bonding ceremony. I thought he would accept us, me and Kira. She looked down at the child in her arms, who had finally stopped crying and was watching Brianna with curious amber eyes. Brianna straightened, arms full of belongings, and made a decision that her practical side screamed was foolish. But her practical side had kept her isolated for 3 years, and she was tired of listening to it. The living quarters above my shop are empty, she said. Nothing fancy, just 2 rooms and a functional life support system. But it's yours if you want it, at least until you figure things out. Solara's skin flashed through a dozen colors, shock white, grateful gold, uncertain gray. I cannot pay you. I have almost no credits left. Can you organize? Brianna asked. Because my inventory system is a disaster and I could use someone to help manage the shop. Can't pay much, but it covers food and board. I was a logistics coordinator on the merchant vessel Twilight's Promise before... Solara gestured vaguely at her child. Before I chose to keep Kira instead of giving her to state nurseries. Perfect. You're hired. Brianna started toward the shop, pausing when Solara didn't immediately follow. Coming? Why? Solara asked again, more insistent this time. Humans are known for being practical, logical. This is neither. Brianna thought about her own mother, who had raised her alone after her father left. She thought about the nights she'd gone to bed hungry because Mom had given her the bigger portion. She thought about all the people who'd called them broken and incomplete simply because there was no man in their small apartment. Because someone helped us once, she said simply. When I was about Kira's age and we had nowhere to go, a mechanic named Levi took us in, taught my mom the trade. He said humans look out for each other regardless of where they come from. She smiled. Figured it was time to extend that philosophy a bit. Solara's skin settled into a warm amber glow. Gratitude, Brianna's translator helpfully supplied. The Valacrian mother shifted Kira higher on her hip and followed the human mechanic into the shop. Above them, the stars wheeled in their ancient dance, indifferent to the small kindnesses that made civilization possible. But in that moment, in a cluttered repair bay on the edge of known space, 2 mothers from different worlds found something humanity had always excelled at, making family from strangers and home from the spaces in between.